data security, right, as we know it, is going through significant transformations in our increasingly interconnected world. I mean, the volume and complexity of data continues to surge at an unprecedented pace. So Nim mentioned earlier in the presentation that the high volume of about the high volume of data earlier in the call. I just want to put a number on that. So the IDC predicts the volume of data to reach 175 zettabytes a year by 2025. Just to put that in perspective, it is a 1 TB hard drive stacked up to the moon and the back. So that's an humongous amount of data, unimaginable. So it's not an exaggeration to say that data security is now a paramount concern for organizations of all sizes and across all industries. I mean, what is really important about that concern is that the intersection of data security and privacy, the intricate relationship between those two, is really at the heart of the concern. So, regardless of all the different regulations in place, the fundamental aim remains the same, right? To protect individual sensitive information and to safeguard people from going that information into the bad actors. And Nim talked about several different techniques that bad actors use to manipulate using this sensitive data. So, data privacy regulations, while diverse in nature, share this common thread. So there are a few considerations for organizations to keep in mind while educating the employees about these regulations and making sure that we follow all the security controls in place. So the first thing that I want to talk about is data classification, right? Nim also talked about knowing what data we have and what we are doing with it. So that's exactly data classification, right? So all the organizations must categorize data based on their sensitivity, right? What is the level of sensitivity and who can access that data. So not all data is created equal, and there's no one size fits all approach for all the levels of classifications of data. So we have some data that is more important that we need to handle it and by taking proper care. And what next important factor in this is access controls. So restricting access to sensitive data is very important, and not everyone in the organization needs access to all the data. So the principle of least privilege approach is, as we all know, is applied across all organizations, and it's an important step as a first line of defense. And the third one, in protecting sensitive data, right? Yeah, and I think the most important one is encryption. So the data must be protected both in transit and at rest. So encryption technologies are essential tools that are evolving and also developing at a rapid pace for ensuring that even if the data falls into wrong hands, it remains unintelligible, and it's hard for the bad actors to decrypt the information behind it. So third one is data governance. So it's also important to establish some policies and procedures for data handling, storage, and disposal. And even so, this is more like a proactive approach that can help be compliant with that. Being these very diverse data privacy applications, it's also important to about the awareness of these regulations. So especially the roles that are handling the data and whose role has an impact on data security and privacy, they should be educated and made aware about those impacts, and make sure that there is good understanding and educational awareness among all the employees, individuals. And I want so again now, and having said all these factors, different factors that will help us in securing our data in our organizations.
It looks like we're getting some good questions in here.
They don't want to expose these, all of these different organizations can collaborate with each other without losing the sensitivity of the data, but still be able to benefit from all the technologies that are coming in. So these are some ways how technology can help in data privacy and security. And I think I also want to emphasize it's not just about complying with all the regulations, right? Like it's about all the fundamental aim of all these regulations is about safeguarding the trust of individuals and the reputation of organizations. So it's important that organizations adopt a proactive approach rather than a reactive, keeping in mind all the technologies uh, that are evolving and will aid us in securing our data. So, yeah, having said all of this, I think I gave some 2 cents to think about in terms of data security and privacy. Yeah, I just want to close on a thought for all of us that I think data security and privacy are not just some kind of check boxes or dots to tick, but those are like they should become the cornerstones of our digital society or like technology as we move forward to develop these things.
Well,
I
thank
don't-
you, Pavan. Those are some great insights. We do have a couple questions. If you have time, we'd just like to ask one or two. Can you share real life examples of ransomware attacks?
Yeah, so I personally have not been come across any ransomware attack myself, but usually like our earlier speaker name gave an extraordinary description of what a ransomware attack is, and it recently I think happened a few years ago where a, a lot of the systems across the world got attacked by the ransomware, and they were asked for money to release those systems or software. So basically, what happens is people generally try to hack the systems and restrict access to them, and then try to charge some ransom for release these back to us.
That was like great information and wonderful insight. So
Yeah.
thank you, Pavan.